That office door labeled Marketing Department at the end of the hall belongs to a past era. Today, marketing is not a specific function. It is a pervasive way of doing business. In the old mindset, a CEO would hire a headhunter to find a creative ad man. That person's job was to work from an isolated corporate silo, tweaking logos and buying billboard space to manipulate consumers into buying whatever the company was already making. The force that broke that model was programmability. As technology moved into the factory and the products themselves, companies gained the ability to produce infinite variations of their offerings on the fly. This shift altered how products were made, but it also broke the boundary between the company and the customer. In this environment, the isolated ad man became a relic of a slower age. Consider the original sales-driven era. This was defined by mass manufacturing, where companies dictated a tiny selection of options to a mass market. You could have any color you wanted, as long as it was black. This eventually gave way to the customer-driven era. Programmable technology allowed for an explosion of choice, and brands like Tide began offering dozens of variations to satisfy specific customer requests. Now we have moved into the market-driven reality. Successful companies no longer just fulfill individual requests, they integrate their products into their customers' larger strategic goals. If your strategy is simply to ask customers what color they want, rather than understanding why they need that specific solution to succeed, you are competing in a dead system. Modern marketing rests on two pillars. The first is knowledge-based marketing. This means mastering deep data regarding your technology, your competition, and your customers to find and own specific niches. The second is experience-based marketing. This replaces one-way messaging with constant interactivity, creating feedback loops between the brand and the buyer. We can see the cost of ignoring this in how a company named Pumpco handled a medical equipment repair. They treated the customer as a transactional nuisance, hiding fees and ignoring the fact that the customer's operations had ground to a halt. Compare that to a competitor called Gluco. They shipped a 24-hour replacement with prepaid return labels included. They turned a product failure into a moment that built a lasting relationship. In this hybrid world, the line between product and service is gone. The service is the marketing, creating the trust and reliability that customers actually value. The central thesis here is that leadership is ownership. Market-driven companies do not fight for small gains in crowded markets. They define and lead new ones. Convex Computer did exactly this. They avoided a direct fight with giants like Cray and Digital by inventing the mini supercomputer. By defining that space, they owned it. Apple's 1984 Macintosh launch remains a masterclass in this approach. At launch, the machine was far from perfect. It had very little memory and almost no software. Rather than trying to hide these flaws with an ad campaign, Apple gave early units to 100 influential software developers and industry leaders. This created a dedicated feedback loop that allowed the company to refine the product based on real-world use. Total market ownership comes from making the customer a participant in the development cycle. It is the integration of the user into the product itself. Faster tone. Traditional advertising is losing effectiveness. Modern consumers are hit with as many as 3,000 marketing messages every day, leading to complete cognitive overload. To fight through the noise, companies started an arms race for celebrity endorsements. But hiding famous faces has started to backfire by creating brand amnesia. During the Cola Wars, Coke and Pepsi used so many overlapping celebrities that consumers couldn't keep track of who was pitching which soda. The ads neutralized each other. When marketing is treated as a one-way monologue, spending more on advertising simply buys you a louder contribution to the background noise. The ultimate warning of this trap is the Ever-Ready battery campaign with the marching rabbit. It was a creative success that was loved by critics. However, the data told a different story. 40% of consumers who liked the commercial attributed it to Ever-Ready's top competitor, Duracell. Because of this confusion, Ever-Ready paid millions of dollars to effectively increase Duracell's market share. The modern marketer must be an integrator, someone who synthesizes technological capability with deep market needs, both inside and outside the company. Stop thinking of marketing as a department for image makers. In this era, marketing is everyone's job. Marketing is everything, and everything is